Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Suburban Adventures. In today's video, we're talking about where to begin if you have no experience fishing and have no clue what you need or what you should be doing. Maybe you want to get into fishing for the first time, or maybe you have a son or daughter that wants to get into fishing and you have no idea where to even start. These are the steps that I would take if I had zero experience fishing and had no clue what I was supposed to be doing. The first thing you're going to need is a fishing rod. So I would go and I would find what's known as a spin casting fishing rod. They look like this. This one in particular is made by Shakespeare. You can find them at Walmart. You can find them on Amazon. You can even find them at your local sporting goods store. You're not going to break the bank with them, and you don't need to break the bank with them. And let's say you have a kid that wants to get into fishing and you're not even sure if it's going to stick, if he's going to do it long term. Don't go out and spend a $100 reel. You can get these for reasonably cheap. If you've never fished before, you want to start with this. It's essentially foolproof. There's not a whole lot that you're going to mess up with a bait casting reel. It has all the line spooled in it already. Most of them almost always come pre-spooled with line. It's usually 4 to 6 pound test, which is going to be more than enough to get you started. It has a push button here. And when we go fishing later, I'll show you how you go about using these. Go grab yourself a fishing rod, okay? The second thing I would do is I would go get a package of bobbers. Again, you can find these at your local Walmart. You can get them as big or as little as you want to, but they look like this. I think most everybody's probably familiar with what a bobber is, okay? Get a package of them. You're not going to have to spend a ton of money to get some bobbers. They have all different colors and sizes, but just start out with one of these round ones for now. When you get to Walmart in the fishing aisle, if you're scrolling on Amazon, you're going to see all sorts of different sizes and styles and shapes. Just start with the basic one like this. So that's the second thing I would do, is grab a bobber. The third thing I would do is grab some hooks. Now, if you go to Walmart to the fishing aisle, or if you go to Dick's Sporting Goods or Academy or wherever, you'll find some hooks like this, usually in a package of 6 or so. Eagle Claw is usually the brand that makes them. And when you're looking for hook size, you want to go smaller. Now, as far as hook sizes go, the smaller the hook size, the bigger the number. So for example, a size 8 hook is going to be is going to be bigger than a size 12 hook. So for starting out, I would say go 8, 10, maybe even a 12 hook, okay? But just remember that, right? A size 12 hook is going to be smaller than a size 8 hook. Now, as you get down to like 1, they start to go the other way, which is a little bit confusing. So you've got like a 1/0 hook that's smaller than a 2/0, like you would think it would go, right? When you think about it, you think as far as the small hooks, you would think that a size 12 hook would be bigger, I guess, because it's a bigger number. I don't know, that's how my mind thinks anyway. So you're going to get a package of hooks. So you're basically all set with your gear. That's really it. You got your rod, you got a bobber, and you got a package of hooks. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get your rod set up. Some of these bait casting rods come with all of this. I've seen them, sets of them at Walmart that have everything included. They'll have a bobber, they'll have maybe some even baits that you would get. So as far as equipment, if you're starting out, this is really all you need: a spin casting reel, a bobber or 2, and a size 8 to 10, maybe even a size 12 hook. So let me show you how you want to get this set up. All right, so I'm just going to attach my hook here to my fishing line. Now this is the only thing where it's probably at some point helpful to learn a knot instead of just tying like a regular knot a bunch of times. And there's lots of fishing knots, and what I always tell people to do is just find the one that you think you can figure out the easiest. Okay, I use I think it's the improved clinch knot, and I'm not going to go into it here. If you don't want to take the time to learn, I guess, just go ahead and use like a regular knot, but just do it a bunch of times. Once you start getting into lures, you are going to want to learn a knot, because you might watch your lure go flying off when you cast it. So I'm just attaching, I think this is a size 8, maybe a size 10 hook. I'm attaching that here. All right. And then I'm going to attach my bobber. And I'll talk about the fourth thing that you're going to want if you are just starting out. Now, from the hook, I'm going to go up maybe, I'm just going to start out with, we'll say, a foot. And then for the bobber, you're just going to take the line and put it underneath the bottom there. And then you're just going to go, and you'll notice at the top there's a little hook there. Actually, I'm going to start out and I'm going to hook it through the hook. So I have it hooked through the little hook at the top, and then I'm just going to wrap it around. When you push on it, the little bottom loop comes out. Okay, and there you go. So I got maybe about a foot and a half. And I'll start out with that. When I get to the fishing hole, I'll adjust it as needed. And what I mean by that is, if I feel like the fish are a little bit further down, I'm just going to slide the bobber up. Okay, so that's it. As far as equipment goes, you should be set. And I would say you might be good with even under 30 bucks. You might be set. Now, you got your rod, bobber, hook. The fourth thing I would do is just get some worms. You can find worms at Walmart. You can find them at your local sporting goods stores. Some convenience stores even have them if you're nearby, like a fairly popular fishing spot or a camping spot. You might find some worms in the back corner of a convenience store, or you can just go out in your yard and you can find them yourself. I have a couple of spots in my yard. I don't have a big yard. I don't have any sort of woods or anything, but I do have planting beds with mulch, and I just go through and I sort of dig up the mulch, sort of scratch through the mulch, and find plenty of worms. So you can find your own worms, put them in a little container, and you've got your bait. Okay, so that's it as far as equipment goes. And that's where I would start, with a rod, with a bobber, with a hook, some bait, and I always recommend live worms. So now we got to find a body of water. If you know somebody that has a private pond that's stocked, that's even better, because you're probably almost guaranteed to catch a fish. And if you're new at it, or you have a kid that's new at it, the only thing they really want to do is catch fish. If you have state parks nearby, if you have rivers nearby, rivers could be a little bit more challenging. But if you have any ponds or lakes nearby, find them. You can even just simply Google fishing spots near me. I've done that plenty of times actually, and I found new fishing spots. Okay, so I'm going to go to a place where I like to go to catch some fish, and I'm going to bring this gear here that I just showed you. So let's head off to the fishing hole. Okay, so we made it to our fishing spot. If you made it to your fishing spot with your worms and your rod, of course, it doesn't have to necessarily be raining, but every time I come here to fish, the last 3 or 4 times, it starts raining when I get here. It's like 10, 12 minutes from where I live. So I'm at an advantage because I do know that this body of water has fish. Okay, you got your worm. I'm going to take your worm, put it on the hook. Doesn't have to be much. I'm just going to take maybe half this worm. I'm going to put it on the hook here. And hook it through a couple times. Really, however you get it on there is okay. But one thing you do want to make sure you do is, I'll show you here, is keep a decent amount of the hook exposed If you're using a bait caster, if you're using a spin caster, it's pretty simple. You're just going to put your thumb on the button and hold it there. And I'm just going to bring it back like this a little bit. And as I'm throwing it, I'm going to release the button. There you go. Right out there. Okay, so you can see, I don't know if you can see out there, my bobber is not going under, but it is going away. So something has it. All right, so I'm just going to reel a little bit. There it goes. Then I just pull my rod back a little bit, and then you just reel in, and you have, of course I got wrapped around there, you have caught your first fish. There you go. Look at that. I have a bluegill on there. So there you go. Now the fun part is getting the hook out, which can always be a challenge. But that's why, I would say an optional thing you might want to grab is some fishing pliers, or even just some like forceps scissors that you can use to get the hook out. Okay, so let me show you this guy, and we'll see if we can catch some more fish. Okay, this is a bluegill. Pretty fun fish to catch, especially if you're just starting out. No shame in it. But there he is. Pretty simple. Let's get him back in there. There we go. Let's try it again one more time here. Just a little bit of worm. This is actually a smaller worm. So I might use that whole thing. Just sort of wrap him on there as you are able. There we go. A lot of times those bluegill will, if you have any sort of worm hanging off it, they'll strip your bait. There you go. Leave plenty of hook exposed. Remember where you caught your fish. So you're probably going to find more in that same spot. So again, press the button. Let go as you release it. And then wait. Usually after your bobber and your hook hits the water, it's just give your rod a couple of reels to create a little tension there. If you can see my bobber out there, something's taking it. It's not going under, but he's swimming with it. Reel it in. As soon as it goes under, I'm going to try and set that hook. And to that, you just sort of jerk back on the rod. Just reeling in slowly to reel in any sort of slack. Let's check. Oh, I think yep, got something on there. Must not be very big. Another bluegill. There we go. For some reason, they're not making the bobber go under, but it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes you'll just see them, see the bobber moving. So there you go. Another bluegill. Now again, there is no shame in just starting out catching bluegill. In fact, that's how a lot of kids start out fishing, right? It's just, it's their first experience with fish. It's catching bluegill. So let's get him back in there, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, there we go. Another nice bluegill. Nice fish. I'm going to get him back in there. Okay guys, so there you go. It does not have to be overcomplicated. Hope this helps. Sort of a beginner, introductory. Here's where I would start if I knew nothing about fishing. Don't have to break the bank either. All that stuff that I showed you, rod, equipment, don't have to spend a bunch of money, especially if you're just starting out or if your kid's just starting out. And then, as you progress, there's other things you can add. But for starters, spin casting, fishing rod, bobber, hook, worms. That's really all you need. Alright, you can check out more videos up there. I do have a whole playlist of fishing for beginners, but you can check that out. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Remember, get out and explore no matter where you live. We'll see you next time.